favourite picture storybooks by an author who usually writes chapter books. I hope you're all keeping well. So this book is actually written by Lemony Snicket. It's called The Dark, and it was illustrated by Klassen. Now, Lemony Snicket you might know as the author of the series of Unfortunate Events. They're a really good series of books. I recommend them to kids in my grade a lot. They're great for grade 3, 4. So you might have read those. This is not a chapter book, obviously. This is a picture story book, so maybe aimed at kids a little bit younger than you guys, but still we can learn something from it. And you might notice that one of our helpers at school has covered it and trapped a little bit of air in the contact. So it's actually really nice to touch the cover. It's kind of tactile. That means it feels nice. So this book is called The Dark. It was written by Lemony Snicket, and the interesting thing about her, or him, I actually don't know if the character's a boy or a girl because it is a character. Lemony Snicket is not a real person. It is an author, obviously the real person writing it, is playing a character. So the author is a person who plays Lemony Snicket, and Lemony Snicket is the narrator of all the stories in the series of Unfortunate Events. If you're interested, there's a mini series on Netflix. I think there are 2 seasons of it, of the series of Unfortunate Events. It's got Neil Patrick Harris in it. He's pretty good. And there's also a movie that came out a lot earlier, just based on the first book, The Bad Beginning, but that one's really good as well. That has Jim Carrey in it as Count Olaf. Is quite scary. Now, this one doesn't have Count Olaf or Violet or any of the other characters from series of Unfortunate Events. It's a separate book, but it has a really cool message in it. So you can see from the front cover here, there's an award here. Well, it didn't win the award, but it was on the short list of books that were really, really good that year to win a special award. So it's called The Dark, and I want to show you the cover page, because look at how they've used negative space on this page. This book really uses light and dark very well, and Lemony Snicket uses a technique that I like to talk about quite a lot. It's called personification. So you'll see the dark is actually treated as a character in this story, and it has feelings and it can communicate. So that's a really good example of quite an advanced technique, even though this book is intended for kids who are scared of the dark, who you still might be in grade 3, 4, but most of the time they're a bit younger than you. All right, let's have a look at the personification and the use of negative and light space in The Dark. Laszlo was afraid of the dark. The Dark lived in the same house as Laszlo, a big place with a creaky roof, smooth, cold windows, and several flights of stairs. Do you know what several means? When I was a kid, I thought several meant 7, but it actually means just a couple, like 2, 3, 4, probably not more than 4. So several sounds like 7, but it doesn't mean 7. I wrote in a report once that Saturn had several rings, and they were like, no, 7 rings, not the same thing. Just one of those tricks in English. Sometimes the dark hid in the cupboard. Sometimes it sat behind the shower curtain. But mostly it spent its time in the basement. All day long, the dark would wait in a distant corner, far from the squeaks and rattles of the washing machine, pressed up against some old damp boxes and a chest of drawers nobody ever opened. At night, of course, the dark went out and spread itself against the windows and doors of Laszlo's house. But in the morning, the dark would be back in the basement where it belonged, and Laszlo would peek at the dark every morning. "Hi," he would say. "Hi, Dark." How do you think he's feeling? I like how we've got the point of view shot here, so we get to see him from behind and from in front. This is the same image, flipped and reversed. Very interesting use of space. Laszlo thought that if he visited the dark in the dark's room, maybe the dark wouldn't come and visit him in his room. But one night, it did. "Laszlo," the dark said, in the dark. The voice of the dark was as creaky as the roof of the house, then as smooth and cold as the windows. And even though the dark was right next to Laszlo, the voice seemed very far away. "I want to show you something," said the dark. "In here?" "No," said the dark. "Here?" "No," said the dark. "Downstairs." Downstairs? Yes, said the dark. In Laszlo's living room was the biggest window in the house. Laszlo looked out at all the dark outside. Above him, the roof creaked and he closed his eyes. Now, the dark was all Laszlo could see. No, no, said the dark again, not there. Down here. In the basement? Asked Laszlo. Yes, said the dark. Laszlo had never dared come into the dark's room at night. Come closer, said the dark. Laszlo came closer. Even closer, said the dark. You might be afraid of the dark, but the dark is not afraid of you. That's why the dark is always close by. The dark peeks around the corner and waits behind the door, and you can see the dark up in the sky almost every night, gazing down at you as you gaze up at the stars. Without a creaky roof, the rain would fall on your bed, and without a smooth, cold window, you could never see outside, and without a flight of stairs, you could never go into the basement where the dark spends its time. Without a cupboard, you would have nowhere to put your shoes, and without a shower curtain, you would splash water all over the bathroom, and without the dark, everything would be light, and you would never know if you needed a light bulb. Bottom drawer, said the dark. What? Bottom drawer, said the dark. Open the bottom drawer. Thank you, said Laszlo. You're welcome, said the dark. Oh, I see. What's he found? A globe for his nightlight. By the time Laszlo got back into bed, the dark was no longer in his room, except when he closed his eyes to go to sleep. The next morning, Laszlo visited the dark in the basement. Hi, he said. Hi, dark. Oh, look, he's gone down the stairs this time. He's not scared anymore. The dark didn't answer, but the bottom drawer was still open, so it looked like something in the corner was smiling. Oh, that's a lovely story. The dark kept on living with Laszlo, but it never bothered him again. There you go. So the moral of that story is, don't be scared of things that you don't know, but also, I don't think you should be changing light globes on your own. So if your night light goes out, don't wander downstairs in the dark to change the night light, because it's actually just a metaphor about how something you're scared of can actually be not that bad when you get to know it. I hope you're taking care. I have been practicing my piano. I will play you some soon, and I will next video take you outside and show you how our bean seeds are going. I will see you soon. I miss you all very much, and I love you. I always say that at the end. So much teacher love, and see you soon. Bye.